Residents in the capital Juba are gearing up to celebrate the peace deal President Salva Kiir signed last month with opposition groups. Dignitaries from across Africa have been invited to attend. CGTN's Patrick Oyet reports from Juba.
South Sudan's government says everything is ready for the celebrations. Several African heads of state, including those from the East African Regional Group, IGAD, will be in attendance.
So far, the Ugandan President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and His Excellency Field Marshal Umar Hassan Ahmed al-Bashir, and the Egyptian Prime Minister would be attending, and a number of other delegations that would be representing the countries that are invited.
Leaders of all opposition groups, including former Vice President Riek Machar, are also expected to attend. For Juba residents, it's a sign that the country has finally turned a corner.
Peace since 2013 is what South Sudanese are crying for. And right now, as we celebrate, we are really also hoping that the implementation of this peace will be as successful as the celebration is concerned.
It's my pleasure that the day has reached, and we are really hoping for the best, and we enjoy together as citizens of this nation, together with whoever is going to join us as our neighbors and friends of South Sudan. All are welcome, and let's enjoy in peace, and we all continue in peace as it has been already inked on the documents.
Today we have peace. We are very happy for that. And we hope we will have a lasting peace forever. South Sudan will be in peace.
Previous peace deals inked by President Salva Kiir and opposition leader Riek Machar have failed, but this time many hope the two politicians will work together to ensure lasting peace. Patrick Oyet, CGTN, Juba, South Sudan.
Well, let's go live to Juba now, where our correspondent Jane Keogh is standing by with more. Jane, of course, we all know that it has been a long and difficult road for South Sudan to get to this point. Just tell us, what's the mood like in Juba tonight ahead of these peace celebrations?
Well, Lindy, as you can imagine, and just like you've heard in that report, there is a lot of excitement, and we actually saw this as soon as we landed at the newly opened Juba International Airport. And just to touch a bit about the airport, it's such a huge and significant change from what we've had in the past, especially for some of us who've been covering South Sudan since 2011. It has a modern touch, it has modern technology, and you get a sense that this is a country that's really trying to catch up with the rest of the region in spite of all her troubles. But back to tomorrow's event, like I mentioned, there is a lot of excitement. We've seen posters bearing the images of President Salva Kiir, Riek Machar, and of course the man who's widely credited with mediating this latest peace deal, and that's Sudan's President Hassan Omar al-Bashir. Now, these celebrations will of course be held at the historic John Garang Mausoleum, and it's widely hoped that thousands of South Sudanese will be in attendance. We also expect regional leaders plus IGAD officials. Of course, we understand that the man of the moment, that's former Vice President Riek Machar, will be accompanying the Sudan President Hassan Omar al-Bashir. It will be the first time he will be coming back since 2016. That's about 3 years ago, Lindy. But of course, some are still skeptical as to whether he'll actually show up, given the fact that just a couple of weeks ago, several days ago, he actually laid down a list of demands that he wanted met if he was to set foot in Juba. And this included the release of political prisoners, the lifting of a state of emergency, plus what he calls freedom for political, or rather opposition parties abroad. He also mentioned that he's worried about his own security were he to come to Juba. But just to help us understand what exactly is going on the ground and what people on the ground, ordinary Sudanese, are feeling about tomorrow's event, we are now joined by our man, that's CGTN's correspondent right here in Juba, Patrick Oyet, who is South Sudanese and who's been interacting with people here when he gets to cover his stories. Patrick, what exactly are people saying as a South Sudanese? How significant is tomorrow's event if Riek Machar shows up or if he doesn't?
Yes, the people are very excited about this celebration. First of all, because of the level of the organization, it is very high level. The Juba streets have been cleaned, posters have been put up of Riek Machar, President Salva Kiir, President Omar al-Bashir, other members of opposition like former detainees. Their posters are all over Juba. Cleaning of Juba, also statements coming from government officials have been very positive. They are all talking about peace. This is something that is making people very, very excited. And going to your second question where you asked, how significant is this event? This event is significant in two ways. One is that when Riek Machar comes to Juba tomorrow with other opposition leaders, it's going to send a clear message to all South Sudanese that, you know what, peace has now come to the country. In 2015, when peace deal was signed, Riek took 8 months to come to Juba, but this peace deal has just been signed last month, and for Riek Machar to come this month, this would be a huge, huge thing for South Sudanese people. Not only that, the soldiers of these opposition groups, they are found of, and even I can say also the government, they are always blamed for not listening to command, that their leaders would say, stop fighting, we have now ceasefire, don't fight, but they continue fighting. But when they see their leaders come to Juba, meet with the government leaders and talk together, sit together, this would send a clear message that there is no room for fighting anymore. Number two, this event is very important for the people of South Sudan in the sense that the people of South Sudan are going to come out in large numbers. We've been talking to them. People are saying tomorrow they close all the shops. The business people have said they have contributed water, sodas, and everything that is needed for the people to come and celebrate. Markets are not going to work. People are going to come. And by these people coming, they are sending a message to the leaders that this is how we want you to be. We want you to come together, to join hands and run this country as something that would bring us peace. Because people are tired. Most of these people who are suffering, people in the refugee camp, people in the IDP camps, these are people who don't care about positions. They don't want to know who is going to be a vice president, who is going to be a minister. For them, what they want is peace, for them to go and have their normal life. So this is a message also they are going to come and send to the leaders of South Sudan when they come in huge number to say, we want peace in this country. These are the two reasons I think that are very significant for this event.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. But of course, we're going to leave it at that for now. But of course, Lindy, there's still concerns because we are still hearing of reports in parts of Sudan, that's in the Bahr el Ghazal region, central Equatorial. Several days ago, WFP did say that they were having difficulties in accessing some of these regions where they're supposed to be taking food aid. But because of the violence, they're not able to do this. But of course, there's a lot of optimism that you've heard from Patrick here. But basically, what we have to do is wait and see how this peace deal holds, given the fact that it's not the first time that this has actually happened, especially since 2015. Lindy.
Thank you so much, Jane. And of course, that's Jane Keogh live for us there in Juba, joined by our correspondent, Patrick Oyet. And as we heard there, though there may be some concerns still in Juba, tomorrow indeed is a day of celebration as the people of South Sudan embrace peace.